January came in full swing, and I don't mean in a good way. In addition to all of the chaos happening around the world, I also had a lot going on in my own world as well. Hence me taking a bit of a sabbatical to get my mind and my life in order. So many updates. I moved, I'm exploring new career opportunities, I've implemented new habits and new routines, and I'm just overall now arriving to a really good place. But more on that in the next video. Today we're gonna get ready together, and I'm going to share some of my ins and outs of 2025. So one I just touched on a bit, and that is discipline across the board. So basically discipline in every aspect of my life, in my work, my fitness journey, the way that I eat, content that I consume, things that I subscribe to, my sleeping habits, which I'll get into later. But I guess you could say I got pretty much a good start already, just unplugging for the last couple of weeks and getting clear about what I wanted to focus on and prioritize moving forward, and just become more disciplined around. In alignment with that, it's scheduled D&D. I started doing this, I want to say early last year, and it stuck. I haven't gotten rid of it. My D&D turns on at 10 p.m. and turns off at 9 a.m. And that's been really helpful in allowing me to step into my day instead of being pulled into my day. And at night, I have no visibility into what notifications I may be receiving, phone calls, FaceTimes, text messages. I'm able to start unwinding and getting ready for bed and really being intentional with my nighttime routine, which I believe is really important for an uninterrupted and just seamless slumber. And again, I won't know anything unless I go looking for it, which is really nice. And in the beginning, I sort of struggled with getting used to it, in the sense that I check my email before anything. After my emails, I'll check my text messages, my missed calls, and there was a time where I would wake up, pick up my phone, and just start checking. And it's like, okay, I at least want to give myself 1 to 2 hours before I go reaching for my phone. So that's been really good for me. The next one is a protein and fiber-based diet. That does not mean that I'm not going to indulge in carbs. I love carbs. I love pasta, bread. I feel like if someone asked me, would you give up bread or pasta? I would say bread. I love pasta. So yeah, definitely not giving that up. What I mean is that for 80% of my diet, I want to eat meals that are concentrated on protein and fiber. I'm also on a fitness journey, getting my body into shape and being happy with what I see when I look in the mirror. You know, protein is so vital for building and maintaining muscle, and fiber, we know, is just excellent for your body, aids in digestion and a lot of other things. So carbs I am not getting rid of at all, but it's just now the smallest portion on my plate. And I still indulge in my favorite snacks and things like that when I want them, but I'm also just not a big snack person. Like I don't really indulge, except for these, I think it's called chili and lime tortilla chips from Trader Joe's that I just discovered. Dangerous. So dangerous. I'm buying another bag today. I've also just noticed a lot of changes in my body, my mood, my sleep quality once I started focusing more on my protein and fiber intake. Meditating. I began meditating when I was 22 or 23 years old. And I'm someone that once I get into something or I'm interested in something, I will go to the fullest extent to master something. And the ways in which meditation completely changed my life, I would need to make a separate video on it. I went from meditating 2 to 3 times a day. So once in the morning, once in the evening, even when I was working from the office, I would go into the bathroom and sit in a stall and put my headphones in and meditate for about 5 or 10 minutes. And there's been periods where I wasn't really practicing as often, like just life started lifing. And when I tell you I felt the effects of that immediately, it was like my mental state was in disarray and I was so out of alignment with everything going on around me that I was like, oh no, I have to get back to my daily ritual. And yeah, now I am back at it. And I can't tell you how much it's improved my overall mental state, my clarity. And even when I'm having a stressful day, I'm able to quickly quiet my mind, sit in the silence, get centered, and just be still and allow those feelings to pass through me seamlessly. It's such a game changer. I said that in 2025, I would like to start reading more fiction books again. I used to read a lot of fiction in junior high school and high school, and somewhere along the way, I stopped. I would say it was definitely around that 22, 23 time period. It was around that time that I switched from fiction to the self-help and personal development genre. And I never went back. So right at the top of the year, literally the second day of 2025, my friend and I went to our local library here in LA and got library cards. And I had the bright idea to reread some of the books that I read in high school. I don't know why I thought that would be a fun thing to do. So I'm like, you know what? I went in there and I saw Catcher in the Rye and I was like, let me reread that. I could not get past the third chapter. I ended up returning the book. So more on that to come. I have a few books on my list that I plan to pick up and read. I do also still have some personal development books on the list as well. But again, I want to focus on fiction reads. So I will be reporting back on that. The next one on the list is intentionally shopping or buying intentionally. And I actually started this years ago. I stopped shopping a lot of the fast fashion brands just because, like, checking out Zara's new collection and H&M. And I can't tell you the last time I bought something from H&M. But now I've taken it up a notch. Like, I've taken it a step further. In that one, I'm currently revamping my closet and revamping my style. So I'm not buying anything that I'm not sure about or that I can't say won't live in my closet for years to come. In addition to that, just sitting on purchases for a while before I take the plunge. Especially if it's a pricey purchase, I'm gonna sit on it for a while, make sure it's something that I really want. I've been eyeing the Flower Power, I believe it's called, scrunchie, and I've sat with this since the summer. So when all the Sandy Liang hype was going on this past spring and summer, I was like, okay, I want to wait for the hype to die down to make sure that I really loved it and that I wasn't being influenced. And so I've been sitting with this for a few months now, really being intentional about what I'm buying, how I'm spending, and not being wasteful. On the topic of overconsumption, another in for 2025 is creating more and consuming less. This ties in with spending just less time on social media and just getting inspiration from other sources and other places, and just by living and being out in the world and traveling, and also just tapping back into print publication. I used to love magazines. Love. Harper's Bazaar was my favorite, and they would do recaps of the runways every season. Nylon, VMag, W, who else? ID. That's where the source of my inspiration used to come from when I was younger, looking through magazines and people that I was around whose style I was really inspired by. I want to get back to that. I'm also just not interested in scrolling just to scroll. And part of my job is scrolling. So just staying tapped in to an extent about, what's going on, what's trending sounds, things of that nature, maybe to a degree, a very small degree. I really just want to run and gun on my own accord and follow my heart, follow my gut, and do things that are inspiring to me that I may not necessarily see other people doing. The last one on my ins list is working out a minimum of 3 days a week. And I've been doing really good with this. Not 3, but minimum 2. There are some weeks where I've hit 3, but it hasn't been consistent just because I've had so much going on within my orbit, outside of my orbit, that I haven't been able to get into a consistent groove. But I am proud to say that I rejoined ClassPass. I've been checking out various studios in my area, just getting to know the lay of the land and learning what I like, what I don't like, what I want to do more of, what I want to do less of. I don't know that I've mentioned this previously on the channel, but in addition to meditation, during that time I also picked up yoga, and I was an avid yoga practitioner. I miss it. I miss it so much that at the end of the year, last year, I was like, okay, in 2025, I'm picking yoga back up. And I've been to a few yoga classes. I also found a Pilates studio that I really like. So I'm off to a good start on this one. Now for my outs of 2025. Political news overconsumption. When I tell you guys that the news wrecked me on multiple occasions, and I mean where I'm going to sleep thinking about it, waking up and it's the first thing on my mind, I had to tell myself, you did your part, you will continue to do your part, but you need to figure out a way where you can remain informed without being inundated. And I was completely inundating myself with information about things that were outside of my control. I had to give that up. It was not good for me. It wasn't good for my mental health. It wasn't good for me on a day-to-day basis and staying focused. I will remain to be tapped into a degree, but not to the extent that I was, because that was not healthy at all for me. And I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. I felt that I needed to be given what was at stake this past election cycle, but seeing that things went as they did, just falling back a bit. Doom scrolling is out. I don't need to keep up with everyone's content on a day-to-day basis. I am happy to play catch up. When I do log on, go to my friends' pages, like and interact with their stuff and other creatives who I don't know personally, but whose content I appreciate and that I follow. I'm okay with playing catch up. I don't need to be online every day, all day. I'm just not doing it. I haven't been doing it, and it's done wonders for not just my mental health and my creativity, but also just getting that time back. I have gotten so much time back. When I compared the amount of screen time that I previously logged in comparison to what I log now, it's like night and day. Delaying tasks is out. Something that I used to do is say, oh yeah, I had this on my to-do list for today, but there's no real sense of urgency, so I could do it tomorrow. And I stopped doing that. I was like, no, if I have something on my to-do list, I'm gonna do it. Even when I don't feel like doing it. Even if that means going to the gym and it's like, I took this workout class yesterday. I don't really need to go to the gym today. No, I'm going. I've been prioritizing honoring my word and my plan over the way that I'm feeling. Unless I'm actually unwell, there's no reason why I can't do what I say I'm gonna do. And I am so good at keeping my word with other people in my life that I need to make sure I'm doing the same for myself. Keeping my word to myself and the things that I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do them. Next one is something that I struggled with for a long time, and that's an inconsistent sleep schedule. I can't say that I've ever in my life went to bed and woken up at the same time consistently. And I've always wanted to be that person that just like naturally went to bed and woke up at the same time every single day. I've always been so envious of people that are just able to do that. And it's not just going to sleep and waking up at the same time, but having an early set and an early rise. I'm someone who loves waking up early. Now, do I wake up early naturally? No. But I am currently training myself to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day until my my body alarm catches up. Whenever I wake up early and get my day started early, I feel like I can build Rome in a day. I get so much done, so much checked off my list. I feel good. I am tired early. I'm able to go to sleep early and do it all over again the next day. And I love that for me. I really do love that for me. So gone are the days where I'm just living by day and flying by night. I don't even know if that's the same, but you know what I mean. I've been in bed by 10 and sometimes I'll fall asleep at 11, 11:30, and I've been waking up at 7. I like that. I'd like to get to 6 a.m., but we're not there yet. Baby steps. Glass is in, plastic is out. And I know it's been that way for a long time now, but in the last few months I've been in an effort to get rid of any plastic storage I have and switch to glass, food storage, water bottles, jars, things of that nature, even repurposing. So if I purchase something and it comes in a glass container or a glass jar, I will typically repurpose it for something else. I believe I have maybe 1 or 2 plastic storage food containers left that I need to replace. I haven't been too crazy about it, but it is something that is really important to me, especially as science continues to advance and we're further informed on the impacts of plastic to our bodies. And that includes polyester. The way when I shop and I see something that I like, the first thing I hit is the fabrication or composition tab. I don't play. If I see polyester, and I'm not saying like if it's small, like 5% or something, maybe I will still buy it. But typically if I see polyester, I'm exiting the chat. It's not good. It's not good for us. It's not good for our bodies, and I want nothing to do with it. So yeah, plastic is out. That about wraps my ins and outs for 2025. I don't know why I'm trying to do this while talking. This is the Elf Lip Reviver Oil in, what is this? In Red Delicious. But yeah, that about wraps my ins and outs for 2025. Hopefully you were able to take something away from this video to add or take away from your ins and outs of 2025. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.